Here we have an absolute value inequality. We want to find out when the absolute value of x minus 5 is bigger than 3. To get a handle on how to solve this type of problem, I'm going to look at something that's a little bit easier. The absolute value of x is bigger than 3. So let's remind ourselves that the absolute value takes whatever number you put in and pops out the non-negative version of it. So drawing a number line, I think, is going to help me get a handle on this. If the absolute value of x is bigger than 3, then all of these guys would work. 4 would work, 5 would work, 3.11 would work, 3.001 would work. So all of these guys are possible values for x. But for the absolute value of x to be bigger than 3, it could either be bigger than 3 in this sense, or x could be very negative, and its absolute value will also be bigger than 3. For example, if I stick a negative 4 in for x, the absolute value of that is bigger than 3. A negative 5, the absolute value of that is bigger than 3. Negative 3.00001, that's right, absolute value is bigger than 3. So what would that look like in our picture? Well, any of these guys would then also work for x. So this tells us that x could be bigger than 3, or x could be less than negative 3. And this is totally correct, but typically I like to write my smaller numbers first. So x is less than negative 3, or x is bigger than 3. So this tells us exactly how to solve this type of problem. But now we don't want the absolute value of x to be bigger than 3. We want the x minus 5 creature to be bigger than 3 in its absolute value. So in other words, x minus 5, when we take its absolute value, has to live over here. Right? If x minus 5 is 4, for example, then that would work. If x minus 5 is 7, that would work. But similarly, if it's far out this way, it would also work. So anytime x minus 5 is less than negative 3, its absolute value will be bigger than 3. You might need to pause that on the video and think about that. Make sure you believe that. So what does this diagram tell me in terms of solving it? Well, there are going to be two branches to my solution. X minus 5 could be less than negative 3, or x minus 5 can be bigger than 3. So now we can solve each of these guys individually. Adding 5 to both sides, we get that x is less than 2, or x is bigger than, adding 5 to both sides, 8.